Norman Ajari joins me now. He's an assistant professor in the Department of Philosophy at Villanova University, an expert on critical race theory and American philosophy. Professor, welcome to the program. Talk to me about how much things have really changed here in the U.S. since George Floyd was killed a year ago. And I'm talking in terms of justice and equality.
I think things have changed in terms of organizing. I think there is a huge, especially in the younger generation, an increase of radical organizing in the streets, a growing interest for those political questions. But I think in terms of radical reforms, radical political reforms, nothing really has changed. Things have changed, I think, in the minds and hearts of some black and brown people in the U.S., but the establishment remains in the same paradigm, within the same paradigm.
Have lessons been learned here, especially in police departments across the country? I mean, we've seen this time after time after time. Black men and women losing their lives at the hands of police.
You know, there is a different interpretation, different ethical interpretation. If you hear the people in the streets, protesters, Black Lives Matter activists, and if you hear, for instance, people accuse George Floyd during his trial, it's not the same interpretation of what is going on. People on the streets are asking for radical reforms. They are asking for defunding the police. They are asking for a huge transformation, structural change of how the state manages, how they treat black people and poor people in the U.S. And if you hear the establishment, what they're talking about, it's about the personal, individual responsibility of Mr. Chauvin, not following the police guidelines, not being a good police officer enough, and so on and so forth. But I think those are strictly different interpretations, right? One interpretation is about less policing, and the other interpretation is about more policing and a more efficient and ethical policing. But the activists do not think that an ethical policing is possible in the current situation of the United States of America.
Well, let's talk about Derek Chauvin, the man who